WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. And today I have something not rare, not exotic, but new. Jack Daniel's Triple Mash. Yay! It finally reached Germany. So what we have is here blended straight whiskey, a blend of bonded American malt, rye, and Tennessee whiskeys. Bottle and bond, 100 proof, 50%, 70 CL. Now, the first thing I love, we have a cork. Very well done. The second thing I love is the price, 32 euros, at least over here. I think it's $32 as well. And the third thing I loved, Jack Daniel's surprised us. Now, I do know that they make great Tennessee whiskey. Boom. That's Tennessee whiskey, 100%. This is bottle and bond, 50% ABV, 1 liter, 28 euros is the price I used to pay for that over here. Wonderful. I do know that Jack Daniel's produce excellent rye whiskeys. They started out with 10, maybe 12 years ago, more like 10, and they had a little bit of a, they had their white dog with rye. They actually did some different experiments. They finally settled on the Jack Daniel's rye with 40%, and then they have the single barrel rye, which I love, the 45%. I think that is one of the best rye whiskeys out there. What I did not know, and I don't think many people knew, actually, that they were producing malt whiskey there. Now, the term single malt is not yet defined in America, but the term malt whiskey is. So we have bourbon, we have rye whiskey, we have wheat whiskey, 51% wheat, and we have malt whiskey, 51% malt. Is it the single malt definition, which means 100% malt? I don't know. Is it at least 50% malt? Yes. We have 60% of this in here, the Tennessee whiskey. We have 20% of the rye. So it's a bourbon rye, basically. And we have another 20% of that malt whiskey, which is weird. Now, the thing I tried to describe in my video in German was, imagine your good friend came up to you, and your good friend actually, maybe he's bald, and he started wearing now a wig and had a fake mustache, and it was very excellently done. You had someone from maybe like Hollywood makeup artist to actually put a little bit more of a color in his skin, and he walks up to you. He doesn't say anything. I recognize voices better than I do faces sometimes. You go, hi, I don't recognize you. Who are you? And he says his name. Is like, oh, Bob, what are you doing? Or Steve, or Jürgen, or Dietmar, or whatever. And that's what I'm getting here. I do not recognize the Jack Daniel flavor profile. Here, I recognize Jack Daniel. This single barrel proof, I recognize it. I love this. This is fabulous, all right? So the old number 7, I recognize it. The Sinatra, I recognize it. But here, I don't. All right, on the nose. Nope. On the nose, Jack Daniel's. So this is a little bit different. I don't want to say weird, but it's different. That's very interesting. You do have a bourbon whiskey moment. On top of that, you have the rye spice. But underneath it, you have this malted whiskey that actually makes it creamier, smoother, and less of a burn. Both of these are a minimum 4 years old. Both of these are, of course, exactly 50% ABV, 100%. Both of these were made, bottled at the Jack Daniel's Distillery. That's why we have on the bottles, we have the DSP number TN1. And both of these whiskeys are interesting. The question is, do I want the disguised guy coming up to me, or do I want the true good friend that I've known for years coming up to me? And to be honest, I tend to go for the true friend. But now let's turn this metaphor a little bit different. Imagine your partner, your wife, your husband, dresses up, and she or he comes up to you and tries to have a little bit of a flirt with you. Would you be willing to try to go in that direction with the flirtiness? I would. And that might be Jack Daniel's flirting with me in a disguise, in a costume. So there is a sweetness. And the interesting thing, I actually got a little bit of a, I order a lot of Vietnamese, a lot. I order about once a month. I order out. About once a month, I order out of Vietnamese, and we have a lot of seagrass in that one dish I really like. I'm getting a little bit of seagrass here. That's just dab, Jack. And the second thing, 50%, 50%, this is hot. Now, this was really hot, the bonded. The alcohol burn was there. This was mild and nice in comparison. This is milder and nicer in comparison. This on a good day is between a C and C+. This starts off at a C+. I kind of like this. This has a interesting, complex type of confusing moment going on here, and it intrigues me, and I want to try it some more. Cheers. There's a spice. It's not a heat, it's a spice. That rye spice coming in. And underneath there, that's there a little bit of a grassy type of malty moment going on. And in between everything else, there's this solid Tennessee whiskey, Jack Daniel's bourbon moment going on. The question of the day. There's a Wild Turkey Forgiven, a mix of bourbon and rye. There's, what was it? Burr Rye from High West, I think it's called. Excuse me. Where they take bourbon and mix it with rye. What other experiments, bottlings, whatever you want to call them, what other bottlings do you know that where we take different spirits, malt, rye, and bourbon, Tennessee whiskey, together? Now, I know that many people are going, Jason, Jack Daniel's not a bourbon. Yes, it is. It's a bourbon with extra special rules on top. Not every bourbon can be a Tennessee whiskey. A Tennessee whiskey has to be made in Tennessee. It has to go through the Lincoln County process, which makes it special. All right, so a bourbon is standard any place in the United States, but a Tennessee whiskey has 2 extra steps. That Lincoln County process and that heritage of Tennessee that they're proud of. That's great. I like Tennessee whiskey. I like bourbon. This is a little bit of a intriguing, somewhat confusing, but interesting product. And I'm interested to hear what type of other products are out there that cross over those categories. So, Burr Rye and Forgiven, I know. Now I do know the triple mash. What other products out there cross over these standard borders, or these standard categories, and create something new? Well done. Now, on the palate, this is absolutely something that I would like to continue exploring. 60% Tennessee whiskey, 20% rye, 20% of the malt here. It's fascinating, actually. I'm not sure I'm falling in love with it, but it's actually intriguing, fascinating, and interesting. As I said, C+, value for money, C to C+ as well. This is something you don't have to try before you buy it. And if you don't like it, mix it or give it to friends or whatever you want to do with it, bake with it, and so on. This, on the other hand, the standard old bottle of travel retail, 1 liter, 28 euros. In comparison, on the end, there's more heat. There's a little, that malt actually cuts down on the heat. Interesting. Would I combine these with Coke or something like that? No. These are anything I pay 30 euros or 25 euros plus for, I don't usually mix. If I were to choose from the two to take to a desert island, this would be the one. This is something I like. It's standard, I know. It's actually that baseline. This is something that's like, I think I might tire of it quickly. All right. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, telling others, sharing the video, and thank you very much for commenting. What other whiskeys do you know out there with a mixture of different types of whiskey? Rye, bourbon, malt, wheat. What else do we have here? Single malt or malt, corn. Yep, whatever else is out there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Whiskey Jason here. Bye-bye.